Good morning, folks. So, I took to Facebook and other social media groups to contact certain organizations, including the Church of Latter-day Saints, and they provided me with some really good content ideas for this here channel. And so I would like to put some of those to use. But first, I would like to ask you to, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so now. Also, hit the bell for the notifications, share this video, give it a like, leave a comment. Leave a comment on what gas prices are in your area right now. But so, content ideas. They have provided me with hundreds of new ideas to implement into this channel. And I fully intend to go down the list and do videos on, the more relevant ones, especially for what's going on today in this day and age. Number one would be building a community. Somebody left a comment on there about building a community. Now, everybody thinks when, everything goes bad that it's going to be apocalyptic, nukes going off, radiation falling from the sky, all that. When all actuality, it could be most likely something similar to, an EMP or a cyber attack or something like that, causing the grid to go down, water treatment centers to go down. So there's not necessarily the threat. I mean, there is a threat really of nuclear war, but we're not really going to go into that. What I really want to plan for is, say, when the power goes out and the power doesn't come back on for 3 days to a week to a month. You never know. I want to plan for when water treatment plants aren't, actively in process of purifying the water, and what you can do to, kind of combat that. Finding water, making it potable, things like that. Now, back to the community. So when the grid finally does go down, it's not just going to be apocalyptic to start off with. It's going to be a transition. There's not going to be marauders out in the street, within the first week coming to take everything that you own, break into your houses, and, do you in. Most likely what's going to happen is life is going to go on as it does every single day, especially for people out in the country. Now, people in the city, they might experience it, go a little faster than what we will out here. But we need to be preparing to help our neighbors when things are going downhill gradually. So when everything finally does go, electricity, lights go out, you have a responsibility. All right, we all have a responsibility. I have neighbors. I have elderly neighbors, and when things go downhill, and they will go downhill, they're already going downhill, and they aren't able to afford to go feed themselves or house themselves or anything like that at that point, because of the financial, inflation that we're seeing today. It is our responsibility to help our neighbors. So if they need food, and I have food, I'm not going to give them everything that I have, but it's not a bad idea to, pass them off a box of food whenever they need it, just to get them through. Because if the lights do go out, chances are they're going to come back on. This isn't a TV show. This isn't a movie. This is real life. We have engineers out here. We have technicians. We have, multiple people that are able to step in when the time comes to rebuild the infrastructure. So we do have that going for us as a society. So I'm pretty happy for that. But anyhow, moving on to other topics. So I also want to make videos on food storage, the best ways to store food. Again, finding potable water sources, and if they're not potable, making them potable. The list goes on. So I am very thankful for the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints for, well, not necessarily them, but some of their congregants, for stepping in and helping me with this channel, because the Church of Latter-day Saints, is very centered around prepping and being prepared in case of a financial, a spiritual, um, anything. I don't know too much about the organization, although I have done a little bit of research since getting on there and talking to some folks. Uh, but I do know that they stand prepared for whatever may come, and for that you have to give these guys props. They're still out there, buying in bulk. They're still canning their own food, preserving it, and doing all that, and it's encouraged through the church. It's encouraged, whereas a lot of places, a lot of organizations, especially religious organizations, they rely on faith. And while Latter Day Saints, they do rely on their faith as well, they also know that nobody is there to save them. They're there to save themselves and to help in their community. So with them, would like to say thank you for them and their suggestions. So stay tuned, because next week we are going to start our very first video on the content that was suggested by the LDS Church. So anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I have to get to work. So take care, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay free.